clean up dev. And because dev, when we started, there were a lot of things that we did which were not necessary. So we need to figure out the cleanest version of that and start in production. Remove
Okay.
excess, permissions, for example, make everything more secure right from beginning, like that. So then so it will take time for us to set up all the services in the new GCP account and test them. So we
Correct.
need to quickly move on that.
Yeah. No, by today I will set up the account. One more
Yeah.
thing with in relationship to production setup. As we were discussing, we're going to now have that contract with the Tibble team, and Kiran and let's say Mallikarjun potentially can be onboarded. Now the question is, production setup, but do you want them to set up, or do you want you and Carnegie to
If
be?
Kiranji is there, we can set up if he can. But we would want to see, because we would like to what decisions to make along. He has to go with us, so this has to be set up fast.
Okay, all right.
Uh,
So then
yeah, they can set up, but we need to be seeing how they are setting up also, and then
correct.
suggest
Yeah.
what our preferences are because of the existing things.
Okay, fair enough. So then, we can do this way, Jay. So one is, let's also bring those two to set up the production environment. So by Monday, if I'm able to onboard them, we will give them the first task of setting up the production in a secure way under you and Carnegie's supervision. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have okay. Meanwhile, between now and Monday, let Carnegie streamline whatever that you need to streamline in a dev environment.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So, does anyone have any other questions, comments on this topic, prod setup? There's only one more topic, Shravanji, production support. After that, you can drop off, and we can continue with the rest. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. But before we switch the topic, does anyone have any questions, comments, clarifications that you need? Is it all clear to everybody what we are planning as far as the production setup is concerned?
So Vijayji, what I understood is we already have the entire production environment, dev testing, everything in a GCP account from Purna Chetana organization, right? Now, as a backup or for protection, you are creating a duplicate of it.
Let me clarify a couple of things there. We are not creating a duplicate. What we are creating is we are creating a separate account where we can host the production. So today, WizKids.guru is within the purnachetana.org's domain. So their GCP. So it's one account. So that account, so let's not get mixed up with the names.
Yeah.
There is one account A where currently our development environment is.
Yeah.
And production environment has to be in a separate account altogether. As far as GCP is concerned, GCP will see this account 1 and account 2. So thereby your protection will be more. If somebody hacks into your dev environment, you still have your production safe, or vice versa, right? That's the advantage of two separate accounts.
Yeah.
That is what we want. Now the second account, the first approach will be to get it using the WizKids.guru name itself, if possible. If for whatever reason it is not possible, because I need to explore that. If it is not possible, then we will use a separate domain name called WizKids.app. That's the arrangement.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I hope there are no other questions. Then let's move on to the next important topic. Just 1 minute, please. So the next topic is production support. Okay. So now production support, usually we do it under two buckets, what we can call as hypercare and BAU. Okay. So what is hypercare? Hypercare is usually when a system goes live, the first period, the first few days, weeks, or whatever the period that we all determine to be appropriate, there is a greater attention, larger involvement of all the key stakeholders, and that period is usually called as a hypercare, because the things can go wrong, and if they go wrong, when all the key constituents are there, it can be addressed easily. So therefore, such a period is called as hypercare period. And BAU is business as usual. Once when a system has gone live and it is working relatively okay, then you need a different kind of a support approach. Then also you need a support, but the support approach can be a different model. Okay, so we need to discuss production support in these two distinct models, hypercare and BAU. So before I take the next step, is the distinction clear for everyone? The difference between hypercare and BAU? What it means to us, and how should we organize our hypercare? How should we organize our BAU? That we will discuss next. But is the terminology and what it means, is that clear to everyone? You can show by thumbs up.
Yes, Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is the
It's clear.
expansion of BAU?
Okay,
Business as usual.
correct.
Okay.
BAU means business as usual. Yeah. All right, excellent. So if the terminologies are clear, let us focus our attention on how can BAU, hypercare work for us. So now our current go live as far as Gurukula operations is concerned is 30th June 2025, right? So for all practical purposes, our system is also going live on 30th June. So that is the starting period. So now we need to first and foremost decide amongst ourselves, and it can also we can also seek input from other stakeholders such as mentors and teachers and operations team. But right now amongst ourselves, what should be the period of the hypercare? Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? What should we consider as our hypercare period? Are there any thoughts and opinions? Dhavalji, do you have any input initially? Dhavalji, are you speaking? I'm not able to hear. Maybe you're on mute.
Sorry, Vijayji, can you repeat, please?
Sure. So we're talking about what should be the period of hypercare. We are going live on 30th June.
Yeah.
And we're discussing what should be the period of hypercare. Is it it's a topic that needs input from mentors, teachers, operations team also. But right now, the tech team, what is that you would recommend is the question, right? Is it the first 2 weeks, or is it the first 3 weeks, or is it the first 4 weeks? What is your opinion is what I'm asking now, you, Dhavalji.
So what is the difference between this hypercare and BAU?
Okay. So hypercare is generally where, let's say that type of support is different from the BAU. As an example, during hypercare, we can decide that there'll be some people from the tech team on site. We will be if there is a issue, we will be all of us. We will have some kind of a bridge call immediately, and we will give a then and there immediate root cause identification and resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, this is generally, a hypercare, right? Like ICU, right? There is a lot of attention and monitoring happening from all of us.
Yeah.
Whereas BAU is, of course, in BAU, business as usual, if there is generally we call it in terms of severity of the issues. If there is a sub 1, that is nothing but, critical error where people are not able to log in at all. Then, of course, we need some kind of a support structure which immediately addresses that. But otherwise, some teacher may come and say that I changed the type of the K item, but it is not reflecting. Okay, we will look into it and we will come back to you depending upon the severity of that issue. If it is a SEV 3, we may say, okay, we have a 3-day turnaround time.
It is just showing you how to do things, okay? Once you learn that, it will go away. It is just teaching you how to work with these games.
Okay, you're talking at the same time to Sakshi. Okay.
Yeah. Sakshi is next to me and she's playing a game. Okay. So yeah, I think hypercare is a good idea, Vijay. It will be more like, regular work day.
Am I audible, Shravanji?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay,
I
so
think we need to talk about what hypercare means. Hypercare means that we have some systems in place for quick reaction,
How to do that?
whereas BAU means that our systems are more relaxed. They're more easier escalation modes, whereas hypercare escalation modes are quite fast, and the systems are heavily populated. So I think what we are looking at is what is our confidence in the system to say hypercare should be for 2 weeks versus 4 weeks, etc. And how many of us will be there in hypercare. BAU then is we clearly understand, right? So my current view is that hypercare should be there for at least 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
So Shravanji's opinion is okay. Let me draw a stake. 3 weeks. So that means chill. So if you look at the calendar wise, let's say 30th is when we are going live. So this is week 1, and this is week 2, and this is week 3. But the thing is, Shravanji, what we heard from the teachers and the mentors is the usage of our application may not be very heavy in this week, but still it'll be there. Here is where it will pick up and it will continue to increase, right? So your proposal is therefore from 30th till this week, that is 18th, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I understand until 18th, the real usage may not come into picture. So they actually at the school and business as usual would also not stabilize for first 3 weeks. So since let's say from 21st, the school itself is running as BAU, then apps can be running as BAU too. So, but before that, whatever it is, the first apps have to get stabilized before any other processes in the school can get stabilized, isn't it? So I think we should look for first 2-3 weeks as crucial.
Right. So now, Ashwini ji, question for you. Do you know whether the Gurukula will be operational 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
It's going to be Saturdays is going to be a field day kind of thing, and it's going to be alternate Saturdays.
So it is essentially 6 days a week for the time being.
But Saturdays we're not going to use our app. It's going to be an outing kind of thing, and it's also alternate Saturdays. not all Saturdays.
Not all Saturdays. Okay. All right. Now, you heard Shravanji that he's proposing 3 weeks as the hypercare. That is till the week of 18th. Do you have an opinion, Ashwini ji?
Honestly, Vijayji, I don't mind going for the whole month and let it go.
Okay. So
Okay, for my sake, whatever is decided.
okay. So then let us look at it this way. Let's say we can actually break it into 2 kind of buckets, right? Hypercare 1, hypercare 2. It is till 18th June, right? Is 1, and hypercare 2 is we could consider it as from 21st to 1st. Okay, all right. So we can discuss, separately between hypercare 1 and hypercare 2, because the kind of the people and who and everything can change between 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. But right now we are essentially saying.
Vijayji, it is July and August.
Oh. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Ji. At least one of us is not sleeping.
That's true.
Good. Okay.
Can
So
I
now,
add
yes,
some points here?
please.
So, see, one thing is that we will have to start using some sort of a system like Taiga we are using, right?
That one, I'm thinking of using Freshdesk, Dhavalji.
Yeah,
We'll talk about the system part next. The ticketing system and how it will flow, we will discuss next.
Yeah, because I do foresee a lot of issues coming in, and we might have to be able to properly, quickly capture and categorize them.
So for those of you who don't know, this Freshdesk, I'll open an account in the Freshdesk, and whenever there is a issue, we'll have to have a ticket here, and that is how we will be managing this. That is given, Dhavalji.
Yes, and second thing is that make the software as much self.
Dhavalji, I'm losing you. Not sure if it is my side or for everybody else.
No, for everybody. Dhavalji, your voice is getting cut.
Yeah. There was a light, electricity outage here. So just a minute. Huh? So the other suggestion I have is enable a lot of logging in the software. So that will kind of like, help us to quickly ensure that our software is robust and working as expected.
Yeah. In addition to that, Dhavalji, we'll be setting up monitoring.
Yes.
And I'll also give you certain analytics plugins that you'll have to plug in, so that for example, as far as the UI is concerned, we'll be using the Firebase for UI monitoring, UI analytics, right?
Yeah.
And similarly, we'll use there are a couple of plugins available which will give us ability to watch what is happening on the services side. So Similarly, there'll be a services plugin. So those will come. That's why, we're bringing in these two people, right? So I want them to be able to set up all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So alarms and monitoring and all will be
Yeah.
also one of the first point of, detection of failures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vijayji, one thing, could we go for this, see, whenever any change is made and it's going to be checked in, or as soon as it's checked in, there should be some kind of automated, at least the basic blocker test cases have to be checked, have to be done before check-in or immediately after check-in. So should we go for, once this is done, should I start looking at the automation part?
Excellent point, G. That's usually we call it as a regression and smoke test. What do you smoke, Ashwini ji? BD, cigarette?
Whatever you are going to give me.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we'll figure out, how do we want to smoke, G? So, but seriously, this is a great point. So usually before we move anything to production, that's why the segregation is also very important. Even if for whatever reason, our GitHub pipelines are auto-deploying, for production, we will set up another pipeline, which will be triggered only upon manual triggering. So that way, there is never a risk of auto-deployment. And we will also ensure that, we bring in this approval. So from now onwards, Ashwini ji, all of us, for a moment, please listen. From now onwards, we all have to bow down to Ashwini Mata, because if anything has to go to production, she has to give the stamp of approval. So that is the whole regression and smoke test, Ashwini ji. Only if you say yes, and I also review with you, only if the two of us have accepted, can anything go to production from now onwards. But between the two of us...
Now means maybe tomorrow onwards. I need to test some more things right now. So.
No, not from tomorrow. We're talking about production. We are not talking about... your development, you play the way you like. Okay. No problem at all. And once we go live, right, we'll also introduce another area called as UAT. That time we will bring some more process. But right now, we're talking about dev and prod for now. So development, no worries at all. However you want to play, you can play. Production has to be accepted, approved by Ashwini ji, reviewed by Vijay. Then only it can be released. Yeah. So that will be the process.
Okay.
So you can start collecting hafta, Ashwini ji.
I think I should start learning that new tool, what you said, where we assign.
Which one, ji?
Just now we show some. They'll get tickets.
Yeah, correct. So you are the primary person, who will also segregate these things. So we'll talk about that next. How exactly, let's say once when we have, this is all the preparation, as you can see here, preparation for hypercare, all of this. And once we go to hypercare, how the process is going to look like, that we will discuss next. Any other points?
One more thing is, I need that thing app or whatever, so that we don't have to trouble Pratibhaji every time for approval. And this is required.
No, I didn't understand.
Each time a lesson is done and I want a lesson is created and it has to be approved, we have to ask Pratibhaji to approve it, the OPMate, basically. So if there is some tool in which we can only do it, because now on Tuesday when the teachers are going to be there and they're going to create lessons, and we need immediate approval, contacting Pratibha each time is so difficult.
Discuss that. That's a good point. Dhavalji, can you please bring that feature to TeachMate?
Sorry, which one?
lesson approval.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can discuss this right now. I mean, API team, can you just provide me with the API which can approve the lessons, and I will put a button for that.
Shravanji, Karniji, is that available?
We have a API, approve API already from in the thing, right?
No, wait. So is that the API that you are using for OpMate approval as well?
OpMate?
Right now, what
A
is
teach-
happening is when we create a new lesson, it's not appearing in that list. So usually Pratibhaji does something and then it starts appearing.
Okay. So yeah, now I understood what you're saying. So the moment you approve, it should be automatically put into the student journey.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we will do that. This need to be put in. The thing is there, but we not integrated it. We need to
Yeah.
integrate that into student made. Actually, this function would be in OpMate.
No, Shravanji.
But
This is a power that we need to give to the teachers. It is not an OpMate feature. It's a TeachMate feature.
just the it is not that a power is with the teachers, yes, but the way we first thought, it's the OpMate would interface or interact between these two. Right now, I would put this code in StudentMate, in TeachMate itself, where when the teacher approves, currently we just change the status in the TeachMate, and uh, after changing the status, we'll also adjust uh, the tables which belong to OpMate today to set up the student journey for that. Put this into the journey. So that we will do. But later, this whole function will be shifted to OpMate as an application.
No, G, no. It is not correct. See, think about it this way, G. At the end of the day, content creation, content curation, content approval, and who should content go to, who should consume it, that power should be live with teaching team.
It
It is
is
not an
triggered
operations
always
problem.
from TeachMate, Vijayji. There's no doubt about it. Only teacher will trigger the approval.
But it doesn't also reside in OpMate also. See, OpMate, let's think of OpMate as all administrative aspects. This is a teaching aspect. Teaching aspect should be within the TeachMate. It can be a capability that is available only to, let's say special role called, let's say, approver within the teaching TeachMate. But this code base also and the capability also should lie within TeachMate, not within the OpMate. So for this iteration, my recommendation is, Shravanji, to move that API, whatever you have right now, if you may have it in the OpMate, to move it under TeachMate and to expose that API to Dhavalji so that the Dhavalji can have a
Dhavalji has already
approval.
gives an API to approve a TeachMate. Now that triggers a function in should trigger a function in TeachMate, which will set up the StudentMate. So that is what we'll do right now. What you're saying is you keep it permanently there in TeachMate.
So,
Vijayji, I think the reason Shravanji is saying this, from my understanding, is that we have a syllabus function. And, with creation of each and every lesson, we want to ensure that whatever gets created is properly a part of syllabus, because teachers can randomly create things and accidentally create things and things like that. So, yeah, there has to be an adherence to syllabus. And what is happening right now is that syllabus portion is designed to be there in OpMate. Like which all subjects, which all topics, which all, teachers are assigned to which all topics and things like that. So that's the reason that functionality is currently planned to be in OpMate. Yeah.
Correct. That's right.
Okay.
So we will figure out how it will be done, but it will be done properly, Vijayji, because this is a very crucial area through which a lot of progression, a lot of features, a lot of other features that we are thinking of in the next version will be connected.
Okay,
So
so Shravanji, if you
but
don't
in
mind,
any case, the functionality will be exactly like what you are asking. It will be triggered and it will only be triggered by teacher.
Can I ask suggest something? For now, can we have one more TeachMate login who has only admin, like a headmistress? Okay, where only she can approve. Only that login will have this approve button. Other teachers will not have.
We already have G. There are some teachers approved and marked as approvers. Only they can approve.
Okay.
We already have a mechanism where the teacher is either an approver or a normal teacher. An approval teacher can only approve.
Yeah. I think that's
Then
how it
good,
has
then
to be.
good.
Otherwise, the normal teacher will approve all the lessons.
so Dhavalji, are you saying that today you already have a approve button in the TeachMate?
That's only for lesson level approval as far as content is concerned. That does not mean that that lesson will start appearing in StudentMate.
And that is where Pratibhaji goes and does something.
Exactly.
And okay, now what you are when the in the current TeachMate implementation you have, when somebody clicks on the approve, are you calling some API?
There is no approving thing we have right now. We are just showing up everything in StudentMate.
No, as of today, when you create a new lesson as a teacher, is there any capability where you can go and say click and approve?
There is a capability, but as of now, we are just showing everything in StudentMate.
No, I understand, Ji. Sorry, what I want to find out is when you click that approve button today, is it possible for you to bring up your UI? Let me stop sharing.
Yeah. So this is sending for approval. Okay, and if this particular teacher is a approver teacher, what we can do is also approve the lesson, which we'll call the approve API.
No, what we can do is separate, but I just want to understand today what is happening.
Today, as soon as you create a lesson, it shows up in StudentMate. We don't have any
there is an approve
thing.
API that comes from TeachMate app to TeachMate microservice. Now, the TeachMate microservice does not have yet the ability to go and put that lesson in the StudentMate journey as of now, which is what is done by a function, a trigger function by Pratibhaji right now. The reason we still don't just connect it with the approval, as soon as an approval API comes from TeachMate, we don't do that is because we need to do further checks whether it is fitting into a lot of learning paths, and it's for which student and in which areas. All this is to be checked later. So right now we can do it as if there is only one domain, one learning path, and everything that is approved will be coming into all students' journey path. So that small change we can do in TeachMate. So this will work. But the reason this is not so simple as just that, because as we go ahead, the other features are going to get more involved in that. The progression and other things will come into picture. So there's a lot of checks that has to be done. That checks are done as
Shravanji, unable to hear you.
Dhavalji said, connected with the actual data, actual approved syllabus and all that. And the syllabus means basically for this set of schools are learning, which is the learning path and which are the actual lesson subjects and topics that have to be there. That is not decided by TeachMate. It is just given to teachers. So their authority is only doing lessons in those subjects and in those topics. But if we were to change anything, that changes come from OpMate.
Yeah. No, this part is clear, Shravanji. My question is very simple. Dhavalji, today when you click on that that button, okay. So are you calling some API? That's my question.
No, I'm not calling API. It is just there for no reason, because we decided that for the sake of speed, we will for now just bypass the entire approval thing. And as soon as the lesson is created, it will start appearing in the student mate.
Correct, Dhavalji,
Okay.
but we have an API which says approve, right?
Yeah.
So we have already implemented that in TeachMate also. Yeah, we have not triggering it yet, but we can trigger it.
Okay.
What it is doing right now in the TeachMate MS is changing the status which is right now created to approved.
Okay.
Or approved or reviewed. So the 3 steps right now is one teacher approves, the second teacher that lesson can be, the second teacher can either review it and say it is reviewed, which means there is still something to be done, or it can be approved, which means it can be put into the student database, or it can be rejected. So these are the 4 status that are there in the database for it.
Yeah, but if you remember, Shravanji, this whole approval workflow itself needs to be implemented. Okay, because what is happening is that when I log in as a teacher Rama, and this table is loading queried by Rama, what will happen is it will only show my lessons. Okay, for an approver teacher, what we will need to do is we will show lessons of all the teachers who have submitted for approval, and if this is a particular approval teacher.
So the way it is implemented right now is that OpMate decides which teacher can approve in what subjects and topics. That is the thing. So that approver teacher will get all the lessons under that subjects and topics.
Got it.
Whether it is created by her or not.
This screen itself will show all the lessons.
Exactly. So you know that, and somewhere you have I have seen in your thing. You know whether it is I am an approver or not in you.
Okay. So we will need to show another field called created by. I don't know if it is already there.
It is there already in the database.
Okay.
We discussed this in the UI and we have looked at this. So from the most of this functionality of approval for the approver teacher and the creating teacher is already there. Okay. What is not there is connecting the request of the creating teacher, the approval of the approver teacher to the student mate. That is the only portion that is not there.
Okay. Yes, Vijayji, yeah, go ahead, please. I think we have 2 separate concerns here.
So I think, okay, so what I'm hearing is, it requires some kind of a still an integration discussion between platform and the UI team, because even if, let's say, how the experience has to be given also has to be thought about. So
I would say the lesson approval portion is pretty simple. I think it is not actually going to require any work based on what I understand. Just addition. In fact, that functionality is already there. I need to just, modify some code to ensure that it is appearing. But the second concern that we are having is still something that we need to finalize to be implemented.
Yeah. Approved to student mate
Approved to
journey.
appearing in teacher student mate is what we need to integrate.
Yeah. So that is done manually today. We can automate it right now as a simple fix,
Yeah.
but we can think about how we can improve it later.
Yes.
So yeah, so I wanted to know, Dhavalji. So today, if let's say, so Shravanji, you have an approve API in OpMate, correct?
In the TeachMate.
You have an approve API in TeachMate. Okay.
Yeah. So UI can give an approve API, then the TeachMate will mark it as approved from created to approved. And once it is approved, there what is not there today is a trigger to put that lesson in the student mate.
Okay, understood. And that workflow is currently in OpMate, right?
That workflow should be in OpMate. Currently, it is manually done by Pratibha ji.
Okay.
Into the database. That we can automate it today. As that means we just ask student mate approved, add another function which says, okay, put it in student mate journey directly without any checks.
Okay, so I think, what I'm understanding is, in order to make this happen, Dhavalji, is it okay if I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me type it here, what I understood. So I'll just use a lesson approval workflow. So first is in TeachMate, approve button is clicked, calls approve API on TeachMate MS. Mark lesson as, ideally it should not be marking it as approved, but for the time being, let's say we go ahead and mark it as approved. That is the TeachMate capability. So this has to be still done. So you have an
this is already done. Up to here already done.
Oh, okay. So Dhavalji, so today you are actually calling an API.
No, he is not calling the API, but in TeachMate MS, if he calls the API, we have already tested the API that it marks it as approved.
Okay, so I'm okay. So I want to speak from the user experience standpoint, Shravanji. So therefore, please bear with me when I say it is not done, right? I don't mean it from the MS standpoint, but I am concerned about the user experience, right? So from a TeachMate user experience viewpoint, this implementation is not yet done.
This is actually done, Vijayji. What is pending here is testing out the flow of approval and ensuring that it works. This has been built ground up, but then we decided at one point of time that let's not go through this approval flow at the moment. So I would say it's not actually pending in a lot of sense.
It's okay, Dhavalji. I don't want us to get lost in terminology. I want to have simple answers.
Yeah.
Only two simple questions. If you look at the code base right now, do you see that you're calling an API on the TeachMate MS?
Correct. I'm calling an API. The API that is being called is an older endpoint. I need to change that endpoint.
Okay. So there is still a development and testing effort needed.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all I'm asking for, Dhavalji. Okay, so this is as far as the user experience is concerned. And from a backend viewpoint, Shravanji, the API is ready and the API will update the table, correct?
Yeah, we'll update the status. And what
Correct.
we need to do, what we were doing manually is once a
Shravanji,
lesson is
please,
approved,
please,
it is put into.
I want to stop you. Let me just break it down. That way we are all very clear. Please hold, Anji. So TeachMate MS, you are saying dev and testing done, right? So there is nothing more to be done from approving the lesson in TeachMate. However,
Correct.
you are saying that then it has to trigger OpMate. This is not yet done.
Yes.
Triggering OpMate and OpMate automation, these two steps are not yet done.
Then OpMate updating the student journey is not done.
Okay, OpMate updating student journey.
That means it's now putting the lesson in the student.
Correct, correct. So now what you are saying is, as far as the TeachMate MS is concerned, TeachMate MS is right now approving the lesson. But that triggering the OpMate, trigger OpMate from TeachMate, and then OpMate updating the student journey, these two steps have to be still done from the platform team, right?
Correct.
Correct. And the complexity there is that, Vijayji, this is actually supposed to be a workflow. And the reason it is done currently manually is that, manually you can review if everything is right or wrong and things like that. So if we just want to have one button saying that approve, that means there is no review.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now, Dhavalji, purely from a user experience viewpoint, if let's say if you integrate with the approve API, and if the lesson starts appearing as approved, that in a way is okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is yet added to user. Okay?
Correct.
Assigned to user is the work that this is doing. Whatever that you're seeing here is assigned to user.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is okay, G. These are two distinct steps, actually.
Exactly.
Right? So my question, Dhavalji, is therefore, whatever this effort, where let's say instead of TeachMate triggering the OpMate, do you think if we bring a assign to student in the TeachMate UI, and then we trigger this aspect, whatever that our API team is going to develop, are you able to understand what I'm saying, G?
See,
what I'm proposing?
I would say is that we need to clarify on the syllabus portion here. When we say assign to student, we are still directly not honoring the syllabus. I mean, it would be probably as good as, we approve a lesson in TeachMate and it directly appearing to students.
No, what I'm proposing, Dhavalji, is assign to student will be a new, let's say, button or feature. Okay, let's think about how it comes later. When you do that, let's say if these two steps, so this will be in the TeachMate, right? So it will in turn trigger some API. And that API will ensure that, it is according to syllabus and so on and so forth.
Oh, that API is there is no automation possible there because it is supposed to be a manual review. That is the reason it is planned to be in OpMate.
No, it not necessarily needs to be manual, right? Today, they have not yet automated. That's what Shravanji just now mentioned. They have not yet done this automation, but it can be done. See,
No, it cannot be done because it is a manual review. That is the concern.
No, wait a minute, Dhavalji. Let me tell you if I can update on what you are saying. So actually, in the database, look at from a database point of view, there is in a in a lesson, there is this field which is approval by a status field, right?
Hmm.
Status field can take the value of as the first thing is created one, then it can creation can be done by a creation any teacher, whereas approval can be done by an approver teacher.
That
Now the
is
approver
fine.
teacher can do two things. She can say, right now also she can say just approve or review, which
Huh.
means it is going back to the developer teacher to review.
That's fine. That's fine. I understand.
So that is internal to
Teachmate.
teachmate only.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
review
Hmm.
or it can even reject. That means you rewrite entire thing.
Got it.
So,
I understand that.
got. Now, once it is approved by the approver teacher,
Hmm.
then we are looking at which student journey we need to put it into.
Correct.
Right now, if we say there's only one student journey, that means everybody has the same syllabus.
Correct.
Then we can directly put it into, that is how Pratibhaji is directly putting it. That
Correct.
function is already written. It is not triggered by your approval API.
Correct.
It is
Got it.
manually triggered.
Hmm.
What we can do right now is you just add this function in the approved API of TeachMate. which
Exactly.
means
As soon as you approve, it goes to students.
it goes to StudentMate. It can
Correct.
go.
Hmm.
But in the long run, we need to, if we add more features, then we need to split it into something different.
Precisely. That is where I'm saying that for now, just auto approve that. And when actually the need comes that you need to manually review, that time build an interface for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shravanji, then what essentially it means is now, if let's say we want to go with that approach, I'll just move these out. So today there is already an API which is approving the lesson. So now in that API, you're going to enhance that enhance approve API to
In TeachMate MS,
in
TeachMate MS,
MS to add to student journey.
StudentMate journey. That's the one we can do.
Correct.
So you will approve that. You will add this, right?
Yeah, we can add this.
Okay,
Correct.
all right.
We
So
also have this function. We are not doing it directly. We can just add this.
no, that's
and
okay.
test.
Yeah. Yeah. So which means that in the TeachMate MS also now there is going to be a new dev and testing effort. Enhance approve API to add to student journey. So will you, so you will have to have, so this has to be added to the StudentMate, right? So you'll have to add some API to StudentMate.
It will add into the StudentMate log, slog.
And who owns slog, G?
So slog is owned by the StudentMate.
So which means that you're gonna
the
expose it via API.
approval of what subjects have to be given to the student, what subjects have to be given to the teachers is decided in OpMate. So which teacher has to approve, to which student it will go, that is what is the journey decisions.
Sure.
Those are
So,
OpMate.
Shravanji, I think what we can do is, maybe it's already too late for you. Maybe you, me, and Carnegie can separately discuss this. But as long as from a UX viewpoint, now we are agreeing that he will simply have to ensure that, the approve button is working. Upon approve, it will automatically get added to student. That's the simplest user experience for today. How do we craft it in the back end? Let's have a separate conversation. Yeah. So maybe, tonight, you, me, and Carnegie can have a separate conversation around that.
Okay.
Okay. So coming back then, therefore, maybe after that, Shravanji, you can announce by when it can be ready. And then Dhavalji, for you to now, anyway, the API is already there, the endpoint is already there. For you to call that endpoint and to show that it is approved upon only the endpoint being successful, um, is this something that can be done in a what is the effort needed, Ji?
He says message, then we write that.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, so let's wait for him to come back before we kind of make up our understanding. But I am assuming, it need not be more than 1 or 2 days. So let's assume that, between Monday and Tuesday, all these things are going to be done.
By Tuesday,
Yes,
we
it
want
can be
this for the teachers. Tuesday,
What
we
is
are
that,
there. No. Vijayji, Tuesday, we are in Mysore. No, so we need this by Tuesday. So for testing, I need some more time. So by Monday, if I get it, I can test it on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. So Shravanji, is it okay after this call if I spend time with Carnegie and we take some decisions and decide how to implement the API side?
Is Pratibha on the call?
She's not here.
Okay. Yeah. If you can just call Pratibha also, because she's the one who did all that function.
Okay.
So she
So if
knows that.
if I discuss with Pratibha and Carnegie, and if you make some decision and then move according to that, are you okay, Ji?
Yeah.
So if there is any mistake, when you come back, you can beat me. But for now, we'll move.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so Ashwini ji, let us see, how we can expedite this. Yeah, because I think what I'm hearing is that Dhavalji is almost there. He just has to enable that button and API call. It's just a matter of Carnegie and Pratibha ji implementing it. We'll see whether we can complete it today only, Ashwini ji.
Okay.
But Vijayji, yesterday or day before yesterday, Madhurya ji called and she said right now they will not be using TeachMate. They want to send us the documents for the first 2 week syllabus. So of course Tuesday we will go, but the only thing why Tuesday we are going is to set up the GPT thing and evaluation of children. So she said they don't have the time to test the TeachMate or anything because they have to give a lot of time on syllabus creation. For the first 2 weeks, they want to get it ready as soon as possible. So by Tuesday, even if you
whether they do it or whether, say for example,
we do it. Yeah, if we are doing it, the testing part, fine. But she was very specific that they have to give all their time to the first 2 weeks of lessons syllabus, which they will. And she said we can only send the documents. You people have to convert it into Markdown as of now for the first 2 weeks.
Which is okay, Ji. See, at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
it should be okay
maybe
with us. Yeah.
because they don't know how easy it is to get it out of your custom GPT. Maybe they're thinking like that.
No,
Maybe
custom GPT, she has to, they said, we as teachers have to give the prompt because our prompts will be different. So I understand that part. But
so let's do one thing, Gayatri Ji.
by Tuesday, by Tuesday, she'll be ready with 2 weeks of lessons.
Fair enough. So
Yeah.
anyway, you have to demonstrate this whole thing on Tuesday. So Ashwini ji is asking that I need this ability on Tuesday. So that's all the point is right now.
Yeah. So is she giving us teachers on Tuesday? I don't know because she said that she alone will be available for the GPT. She and a couple of teachers for fixing the GPT, and children evaluation will be done by some other people.
That's a Madhurya ji's arrangement, Ji. But what we are discussing now is when you go there Tuesday, you will have to show an end-to-end workflow, right?
Why are we showing? But we are on Tuesday. Why are we showing them end-to-end? They are not ready to see, no, Vijayji.
No, but then you will be doing that test with the children there.
No, we are not doing any test. I will tell you what Madhurya ji told is there are 2 tasks on Tuesday. One is a separate department dealing with evaluation, and Madhurya and one or two teachers will sit only exclusively for creating a right prompts for GPTs. Other than this, no other thing has been planned on that day, and they don't have time.
Vijayji, their evaluation means evaluation of kids for
Children,
these
yeah,
kids.
children,
It's
yeah.
more like not the evaluation of student made. They want
No,
to.
no. 5 kids are going on Tuesday. They will be evaluated by the Purna Chetna team. That is a different team altogether.
Like
That is doing
screening
that.
test.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Now this is
So
what
this
you've
is
heard
so I
from-
am wondering where will they find time and for us to present. And you have always seen the teachers are never available, for us to give the demo. Priyanka ji was there last time on and off, but otherwise Madhurya has already seen. So for testing, will they give? We have to again ask Madhurya that can you accommodate some time for this also? Teachers and students, can they come and test on Tuesday since Ashwini is coming that far?
Okay, so now between you and Ashwini ji, is there one of you who's coordinating with Madhurya ji, or who is the one who's primarily coordinating with
The
Madhurya
last
ji?
thing I spoke with Madhurya and she said this is the thing, and also she spoke that Kannada and Sanskrit right now they cannot do because that's not possible for them right. So they kept Kannada and Sanskrit on hold, even though Sharda ji asked they want Kannada and Sanskrit. She said our high priorities now math, science, social, and English. And she said she will speak to even Guruji about this Kannada and Sanskrit. So after that, what discussion happened, I have no clue. But this is
So
the
when
last I've heard from Madhurya.
when was that ji?
Day
When did
before
you-
yesterday, Madhurya ji called evening.
That is you are talking about sometime on Thursday, is it?
Yes, Vijay ji.
Okay, all right. And Ashwini ji, have you been also speaking to her?
No.
No, okay. So whatever Gayatri ji is speaking. So now for Tuesday, then Gayatri ji, is it you who is going to be now setting the agenda when you go there on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, whatever Madhurya ji has told, this is what we have to do. So I'm going as per her thing, that's all. So as far as I know, they are giving us time for setting up the GPT prompts, but not that they will immediately use the GPT. It's only for us to take their prompts, come back. That's all. And we will do, and Vijay ji, actually setting up the prompts and testing the GPT itself will take away a lot of time because they're very particular about the outcomes. So they will keep on doing that. And again, we have to change the prompt. Again, we do the outcome. So that will take 4-5 hours for us. And I'm sure about this based on what Madhurya ji has told.
Okay, so your point is on Tuesday you may not get time to run the end-to-end test.
Yeah, that is they don't have information about this at all. That we are showing them something
This
on
was
Tuesday.
discussed on Saturday, ji. It was discussed on Saturday when we all were there.
With Darshan ji?
When we all were there, no, all of us, when we went there in person.
Shravan ji is asking, can he log off?
So Shravanji, if at all, we decide that it is important, like I said, I will take a call with Pratibha ji and Karni ji. If not, then, I would have messaged you so that, you can, next when you start working with them, you can continue to guide them, ji.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. So, Gayatri ji,
Yes,
I'm speaking based on the face-to-face meeting we all had in Mysore. On that day,
one second, Vijay ji. Hari Om, Madhurya ji.
Hari Om.
Madhurya ji, we are just trying to get the agenda for Tuesday. So we know that there is a evaluation for children by a different department, and we are coming to set up the GPTs.
Correct.
And are we also doing end-to-end test of the student mate and teach mate on that day?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So then so Ashwini ji will come for the testing part, and myself and Rajita will be coming for the GPT part, right?
Okay, yes.
And all the teachers and Vijayji, a couple of students are also required.
So for student mate, we'll have our students itself to do the demo.
Okay, fine.
So that should be fine. Teacher mate, our team should have a rough idea how to do things.
Yeah.
So our teachers will be there for teachers mate.
Okay, fine. We just wanted to know the plan of the day.
Yeah. So
Thank-
if I send you by today evening or tomorrow the 4 lessons that we've created,
Yeah.
if you can upload it and if that is ready, then it'll be perfect to do the demo.
Okay, so we have to upload this to the student mate.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Madhuryaji. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Okay, right. Bye.
Yeah, got it cleared, Vijayji. I just thought if she's online, then we can clear many things.
Good. Everything's clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means
Vijayji,
that, you
there is
know,
a doubt.
yeah, Anupama.
Will the teachers also test how to use TeachMate that day?
I think
That's
that is
you
what
just
she
now
said,
heard,
no?
no?
Uh,
That's what you just now heard. There is
Huh.
going to be a teachmate to student-mate end-to-end testing also. So one is, you know, these 3 or 4 lessons you can already upload, but that day also you may have to generate a lesson and then show them. That's how it may have to be done. So once when you go there, the first thing you may have to set how exactly you want to test all these things. But now at least the clarity has come that, you know, we need this available, and that's why Ashwini ji, so we'll work with the team and see how fast we can do. So Dhavalji, for you, is it possible to get that button enabled and working today?
Yeah. It will not take any time.
Sure. Okay, all right. So then, you know, we have the clarity. Any other point that we need to discuss as far as the preparation?
Author we wanted to discuss with Vijayji.
So today, how is the auth working, Dhavalji? You give. I wanted to discuss that, but I didn't want to deviate. You
Yeah.
gave an email ID and password. Is the token coming back from backend?
Yeah, but see the way usual, I mean, I don't know, probably Carnegie can explain if I'm going wrong somewhere and if we need to use any particular API for auth. But what happens is that we have the token, but subsequent refreshes and subsequent new browser sessions, what we want to be able to do is use that token for continued auth.
And are you finding that, you know, on subsequently refreshing or changing the window and using the same token, API is rejecting, is it?
It's not that, but I think API, the way it has to be structured is that if we supply the auth token, then nothing else should be required.
Okay, so but have you verified that capability or not yet verified?
I have tried verifying it, and I find it that, you know, we do have to supply credentials. So, you know, if Carnegie can help with that, or if we have a small discussion around that, because, you know, otherwise teachers will quickly come back saying that every time they have to log in.
Okay, so from a front-end viewpoint, Dhavalji, today, just the question from front-end viewpoint, don't worry about the back-end right now. If let's say if I go to a new tab and open the same account, are you trying to log in using the previous token?
Yeah, I was trying, but then it was not possible to do that. So then I have to force an authentication using credentials.
Okay, when you say it was not possible, is it that, you know, as an example, Ji, once when you click on the TeachMate, after you click on the login, you showed a landing page, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the landing page for the time being, let's call it as the Lessons API. So when you call the Lessons API using the previous token, you are getting a authentication required message, is it?
See, I'll tell you what is the situation.
Yeah, is it possible for you to share? That way
Yeah.
we can all see. Yeah.
I'm sharing my screen. So it's not a major deal, but it does need a modification.
That's okay. It's not about major or minor. I just want to
Yeah,
understand how it's working.
No. So I'm like trying to ensure that backend team does not have to worry too much about it. But it definitely requires a modification. What is happening right now?
Okay, we can do a quick experiment, G, before you go into the network tab. Just copy that URL, whatever the URL that you have.
No. Even if I refresh here, Vijay, it will trigger an auth.
That may be your front-end behavior.
No. I'll tell you why. Okay. So if you see the auth call, auth call returns a couple of things. It accepts credentials. One concern I have is it is accepting plain text password here. I want to pass salt rather than, or a hash rather than a full password. So that is one thing. Second thing is that if you see the response, we are getting teacher name, subjects by level, which is critical information for TeachMate to function.
Yeah.
Teacher ID, which is also critical information, and token.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now, if I reload TeachMate, I need this critical information for TeachMate to function. Okay. Which means that auth call has to be done again. Either this needs to be bifurcated to another API, which just accepts the token and gets the teacher information, in which case I just need to pass the token to that API and it should return me the teacher information.
Okay, one more question, G, before you proceed. Any other API calls within the TeachMate, okay, where you, let's say you are adding a lesson or anything, do they currently function only with the token supplied, or they can function without the
They need
token?
teacher ID, etc.
They need only teacher ID, but not necessarily the token, is it?
They do need token and they need a teacher ID.
And the token is being sent in the header, right?
Yeah.
Okay, understood. So the only issue seems to be that, upon auth, it should have simply given you a token.
Correct.
But what it did upon auth, what is the response upon auth? Show me.
Response is having teacher name, subjects by level, teacher ID, all of which is critical information.
It should have only given the profile information and it should have let you call the lessons.
Correct. So what I need to have, function successfully is that I need to be able to call profile information separately and just provide a token there to get all these things.
No, I would say slightly differently. See if it makes sense. Upon auth, let it return. See, generally upon auth, you get the profile of the user who has logged in.
Correct. Yeah. So in that case, just provide token to the auth.
Yeah.
And in that case, it can bypass the credentials.
No, G, please listen and then you can comment.
You
will send the same payload, but of course, whether the password can be hashed or not, we can discuss that. The response will be a token in the header, as well as it will also have a profile information. That is how auth can be. And then using that token, subsequently, any other API within the system is availability of the token only. That's all it is. Your critical information, if you need critical information, you simply, let's say if I copy that URL, teachmate UI dev /lessons, right? And if I open another tab, how do I pass the context of the token? Is generally, you would have cached the token either in a cookie or however you feel like, because it's the same domain, right? You can even cache it, or you can even use a local storage. In that local storage, you can cache the token. And anyway, these tokens have to be set up in such a way that, they expire upon some time.
Correct.
Yeah. So subsequently, any API call other than the auth call, any other API call mandatorily requires a token.
That is actually there. If you see, all the API calls we are making with auth token.
The lessons you have called with a token only, no?
Yeah, token and teacher ID.
Excellent. So then that is already taken care of. In the auth call, in the response, go to the response, please. So this alone may be some pieces of information other than the teacher ID and the token. The rest of the information need not necessarily have to come as part of the auth. These are all role level information, subjects by level.
Correct. So either we need to have we need to ensure that auth call only returns token, and we call another API to get the profile information, or otherwise also this is fine. But what I am saying is auth call should accept two set of parameters, either credentials in absence of a token, or if a token is present, then it does not need credentials. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can solve it in two ways, Dhavalji. One is
because
whenever,
credentials should not be cached.
No, you don't have to cache the credentials. The token can be cached.
That's what.
Okay. The token that you've received as part of the response, right? Have you? Are you caching the token?
I can cache it, but the problem is that currently auth call does not work with token alone.
No, you don't have to. Next time, you don't have to make the auth call, Ji. See, think of this way, Dhavalji. You make the auth call only when you have to get a new token. Okay.
Then we need a profile API.
Whether we need a separate profile API or whatever it returns as part of the auth, can you cache even the profile information?
No. That should not be done, Vijayji. The reason being, if anytime there is a change in the backend, which is highly likely, then it is a trouble. This information is subject to change anytime, and then these things will go into trouble.
Fair enough, which is a fair point. Correct.
Yeah.
So then what can be done is /auth gives you a token.
Yeah.
And some high level ID. /profile gives you role and other information that you need mandatorily to operate.
Correct.
And any other and including the profile, any other API call, you will need mandatorily the token that you got out of auth.
Yeah, that is already happening. Yes. So that is yeah. And this particular change will apply to both student mate and teach mate.
Teach mate. Okay. All right.
Where auth can work with a token alone.
Yeah. Auth will return token alone. I'm just making the verbiage clear.
Auth, auth can return token alone, and if the token is present, we will bypass the auth call and we will call the teacher call.
Yeah, whatever the other path that you need.
Yeah, and teacher also will need to be. It's okay. I will cache teacher ID. But then auth call will need to return a teacher ID.
So generally, the way the token has to be generated is if you unpack the token, you'll be able to get to know the user ID, user role, and any other longevity information. Is it valid? How long it is valid? All that is what the token unpacking should give. So ideally, the teacher ID need not necessarily have to be sent. But for your internal operational purposes in the TeachMate, you need the teacher ID. Keep it cached. And anyway, teacher ID being cached is not a security risk.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a concern. But then the APIs need to ensure that they bind teacher ID and token. Like if they don't have any other relation between teacher ID and token, that means I can fake any other API calls at any point of time with a valid token.
True. And that's what. Let me check with Carnegie.
Yeah.
After this call, let me understand how exactly they've implemented. Based on that, I will recommend that. Yeah. Okay, Ji. So, any other change that you need?
No, otherwise everything is looking pretty good, Vijay ji.
Okay, so essentially you will, okay, so soon after this call, our discussion here, maybe if you can continue for some half an hour, we will finalize this with Karniji.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can take up the approve part with Karniji. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Can you stop, Ji? I will share. All right. So now, any other point that we need in terms of a preparation? Does anyone think of any other point? And of course, we need the separate deployment pipeline and all that. That we will discuss separately with Carnegie and team. But can anybody else think of any other?
One more thing is, it will
Yeah.
be good if, okay, let's say worst case, like how Madhurya ji was saying, she will give 5 documents, Word documents, which we have to convert to Markdown and we have to put in teacher. So if Anupama ji or somebody, if they can give me a GPT, which given, see, I tried with a Word document, ChatGPT, I put the whole Word document, it is not really converting it to Markdown. So I have to give it chapter by chapter. And there also, again, when I copied from the Word document to the to ChatGPT, the bold and all is not coming. So if somebody can help out and give a GPT or something which given these inputs, if it can give it in Markdown, that would be really. But of course, for now I can do it. But if worst case, if they will not use our BPTs and they want to use some kind of tool like this, where they, let's say they get from different sources their inputs for creating the lesson, then in that case, if we can have a GPT which can convert it to Markdown, then it will be very easy to put it to TeachNote. The teachers themselves
So
can.
Ashwini ji, you are essentially asking whether there is any GPT possible which can take a document as an input and give Markdown as an output.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking for.
Yeah. But whole document may not be possible because I've tried it. But yeah, that's the use case.
Dhavalji, do you have any initial suggestions on that?
Sorry, I did not get it fully. Can you please repeat?
So Ashwini ji is receiving lessons in the form of documents from Purna Chaitanya team. She is asking whether there is any tool that can take that as an input and give Markdown as an output.
Oh yeah, lot of them. Just search for any Google Sheets or a Google Docs to Markdown converter.
I will search for that. I'll check that.
Yeah.
Do you have something right now already, Ashwini ji, where they have given you a document?
Yes, sir. Two documents are there.
In fact, Google Docs itself, let me just demo you. Google Docs itself supports a Markdown conversion. So I'll show you. The only thing being that quiz will have to ensure that it's in a certain format. But what you will need to do is that, ensure that the proper semantics are applied. Okay, then it will do nice Markdown conversion. So if this is a normal text paragraph or subtitle, things like that. And let me quickly insert a table as well. Insert a table. Okay. Now let me go to that help.
I think, Dhaval, we can take the lesson that is already available now and open it in GDocs and see.
Yeah.
I'll send it.
Is it download, Dhavalji?
Yeah, I'm seeing that only. So download as markdown. Yeah. And if I see here now what happens, untitled document, open with code. Yeah, you can see that this exported it as a markdown.
Yes. Good, Dhaval. This is what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashwini ji, any other questions?
No, Dhaval. No visits.
Okay. Yeah. Dhavalji, can you stop sharing?
Yeah.
This will save a lot of time for me.
Definitely. All right. So now, in terms of preparation, does anyone else have any other question?
Also, Dhavalji, these audio files and pictures, we'll have to, pictures we put it in a drive and we have to get a link. We'll make it shareable and get a link. Audio files, right now I tested from some audios from SoundCloud and embedded before it works fine. So if teachers have to put in the audio files, we have to make sure we get the embed code.
Either SoundCloud or they have to put on Google Drive. Both are fine.
Do you have support for Google Drive, Dhavalji? Because Google Drive doesn't automatically support audio file play.
No, what it will do is as long as the raw file is accessible, it will have its own audio player.
No, Ji, I have played with it, and that's why I'm saying this. For the Gita Shlokas, I wanted to do that only. And what happens is, though it is made public, it doesn't allow it to be played from some other application.
Okay.
So you will need a Google Drive based integration, pull the file, or you will need a Google Drive special player integration. So it's a convoluted approach. They don't let applications directly access it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe then it can be abused. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise we can host it somewhere in SoundCloud and get an embed code or some other.
Yeah, worst case, we'll have to host it in our GCP's blob storage, and we'll have to generate URL for that.
Yeah, we can get a small script which can anytime upload audio to our GCP account like S3 does, and quickly does all the images. I mean, even for our this thing, even a video. I mean, even a quick Bolt app can do that, where you allow to upload and it will give you the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be cooked up in like 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Just provide the account information and it will connect.
Ashwini ji, so you see, depending upon the lesson, whether there are any such scenarios. If so, we'll have to come up with a workaround for that.
Right now in the lesson, they have not given it. But I'm seeing this in the future, this will be required. Let's say if the child wants to record an audio and send it to the teacher, oral speech or something like that. Or if the teacher wants to say something which they're not finding anywhere, they themselves want to record and that time these kind of use cases.
In our today's release, Ashwini ji.
Not now, this is the future.
Exactly. So let's focus on today's release. In today's release, teachers may create an audio. Then, we need some solution for that. Today, we are not letting our children or anybody upload an audio or a video. So therefore, it's not a concern as of today.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other points as far as the preparation for production support? Great. So then what we can do is, let us get these things done, whatever we have listed here under the preparation. And anyway, over the next week, let us continue to discuss. And like I said, for the hypercare, I request Rajita ji, then Ashwini ji, and Anisha ji to be available on site. Yeah, the first, at least definitely the first 2 weeks, your presence is very critical. Yeah. And then after that, we can see how to roll and what exactly will be the process. All that when these preparatory steps are done, let us discuss them as we go further next week. And anyway, next Saturday, I've requested that all of us be physically present. We can practice some of these things. It's very important, very critical that we understand how this entire process has to work. Yeah, so physical meeting is very important next week. So please make sure that all of us are present next Saturday. Either in Guru, we can decide whether to go to Gurukula and then directly practice there, or to meet at SFE. My preference would be to go to Gurukula next Saturday. Yeah, so we'll decide that as the week rolls.
So, Vijayji, one thing, Ashwini, when the actual content is being sent today or tomorrow by Madhurya, what are the other documents that you're uploading to StudentMate? I didn't understand because.
That math share sent, no?
But that were all sample documents, right? Are you verifying with them what is a sample document and what is the actual original content?
No, she wanted to see the math part also, so I put that.
Okay, so in StudentMate, will we be able to figure out when people open,
That time we should delete, no? We should delete everything. This is now
okay,
right
this
now
is
for
what I
testing.
wanted to ask
Before the
because.
release, we have to delete everything and put only there.
And do one more thing is, our test content be on, say, some impossible level like L16 or L1, and their content be on realistic level. So that will at least allow us to internally bifurcate.
Yes, Ashwini. So if it's all piled up lot of stuff there, first thing before they send the actual content today or tomorrow, if we can clean up that level 1, so that way we can. Otherwise, it will become very tough. Students will start seeing on June 30th the sample content or the test content. Like that is what.
No. But
I feel.
anyway, for teachers, for the students, that only what is assigned to them, they'll be able to see. So
But still, like our logins have to be that way, where our test creation login should only be assigned L16 or something, so that by default also new content for testing gets created in an impossible level.
So now all are in level. That level you're doing.
So they don't want now. Ashwini, you can stop uploading anything because they have already seen that. So they want to see their original content, which is coming today or max tomorrow. They want to see only that content. So you don't do the old documents, all that they have sent, which was for our sample testing.
She wanted math.
Maths
she wanted.
No, but they are sending it today, right? Okay,
no, but maths she has already sent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
that
speak to Madhurya and
I did put that. It's okay for my testing also.
And one request is that please do post that content because I want to review that from a markdown perspective.
I will send it.
Yeah.
I will send it.
Yeah, and whatever documents you're getting, if you put it in a central place.
It is there.
Yeah.
Shared, but that is also one more thing that where do we put even these images which we are going to? So even the teachers, whenever they are going to generate images, do we put it in one certain location? If we have that, we put that and everybody put it instead of each of them putting in their own files.
So Dhavalji, today the images, if let's say they are in a particular public URL, you are supporting them, right? That's how you are working. But today, if let's say the URLs are not in a public URL, your application is not able to load them. So for example, let's say if it is in the S3 bucket, a signed URL or a blob storage in GCP, a signed URL, that you are not yet supporting, right?
As long as the server supports us loading them, I don't think we have any restrictions. Most likely what happens is in those cases, we have to put our application URL into the allow list so that when we request those URLs, the server does not block the request. I mean, the S3 does not block the request. Is my understanding.
No, correct. So see, signed URLs work in both ways, Dhavalji. One is, of course, there is as far as the front end is concerned, it is purely abstract for the front end. It is just like any other image URL. And it is the what of the endpoint that it hits, that is the one which has to resolve and send the image content, right? That's one implementation approach. Other implementation approaches, directly, there are small libraries that you can integrate on the front end, which negotiate all this and they bring it up, right? So which means that there's a little bit of a front end work.
How do we specify the URLs?
So whenever you receive a URL, you look at a URL, and there are certain, various approaches are used, certain root domain or certain patterns of the URLs. Then they go through this. Otherwise, you always feed it, and those libraries are also capable of fetching it from other general public image URLs. So these are the two integration approaches that are possible. So my question to you is, right now, the way you have done is you're assuming a pure image URL, right?
Yeah, pure image URL. Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now the question, have you tested the Dhavalji putting a image file in Google Drive and taking the link of that and then using it in the StudentMate?
Yeah, that's how it was done in our experiential workshop.
Okay, so looks like the image URLs are working. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, because I know audio it is blocking, but image looks like it is working.
Yes.
Okay. So for the time being, Ashwini ji, therefore, the answer can be that we create a public Google Drive and we put all these images there, whatever that are custom generated, and we make them public for the time being.
We have the docs.
What is that?
We have the docs thing which is created, where we can make that.
Yeah.
Login.
So for Tuesday's experiment, you can create a public URL under your own ID for now. And then for the production, we can create it under the docs. In the next iteration, we will come up with a better mechanism. We will use
and one manual thing to be done if needed is convert all the PNGs to JPGs.
Okay, currently you're supporting only JPGs, is it?
No, I'm supporting all the images, but PNGs usually come like 2-3 MBs. JPGs like 100 KB, 200 KB. So what happens is loading is quite different.
So it should be a JPG, is it? What should it be now?
Try and use JPG, so everything loads very fast.
Okay.
So one more question, Dhaval. Now they will be sending one lesson as one document, one full lesson. So while uploading, it should be broken down into slide by slide, right? Because in TeachMate we have a lot of options like text, image, or video, or different styles. So how do we decide which part of the lesson becomes what?
That's where I think the entire exercise of them using TeachMate will align.
Yeah, that's what. So they are saying you upload it to TeachMate, but what style they did, they don't specify anything in the lesson. It is a one continuous lesson, that's all. Yeah,
so I would say what good exercise would be like you inputting a lesson to TeachMate in front of them, so that they don't at the same time have to worry too much about using TeachMate, but at the same time they watch you doing it and get a clarity of how things are.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I felt, because obviously what style they want and what as teachers they know the best. Okay, so this is what I will tell Madhurya that whatever original content that they are sending from today, we would do in front of them only on Tuesday.
You can do like most of them, but one or two you do it in front
No,
of
at least one they should show us,
Exactly.
and then the remaining can be done. Because if something is wrong, if the teachers don't like something, then the whole thing has to be removed and again put when we are running short of time.
Correct. Yeah, probably I would suggest like do 80% ourselves and do like one or two in front of them.
Yeah, at least one lesson, if 1-2 lessons if they do, then we'll get a clarity how to break them and how to put them into various categories. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Darshan, Dhavalji, this bifurcation of the test content, another thought I had. Currently in the TeachMate, are you supporting either delete or archive a lesson option?
No, we don't have. Delete is there.
Okay, when you do a delete, on the back end, Carnegie, if you know the answer, when in the TeachMate, if you delete a lesson, does it do a hard delete or is it a soft delete?
अभी तक हार्ड डिलीट ही कर रहे हैं। आपने सॉफ्ट डिलीट के लिए कहा था, लेकिन वो डिसाइड हुआ कि वर्जन 2 में स्टार्ट करेंगे या बाद में स्टार्ट करेंगे। पहले प्रोडक्शन रेडी करते हैं।
Okay, so currently all right. And if you do a hard delete, today, Carnegie, as far as the student journey is concerned, are you changing the student journey content? If let's say a lesson is removed in the TeachMate, and if that lesson is already assigned to a student journey, how does it function? Does it remove from the student journey also?
स्टूडेंट टीचमेट में उससे रिलेटेड जो भी होता है रिमूव कर देते हैं सर। स्टूडेंट जर्नी एसलॉग में है, मेरे पास सिर्फ जर्नी है, वो रिमूव कर देते हैं, लेसन से रिलेटेड जो भी होता है।
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, when you delete a lesson in the TeachMate, if let's say there is a student journey associated with that particular lesson, even that is removed.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So we'll verify that. Okay, so
one more thing which we wanted to ask Vijayji. Ashwini, are you taking the responsibility of uploading all the content that will be sent by these people, or is the content team doing that? Pardon?
Okay, anything is okay.
No, your workload is what we should know, and we should know if because it's a duty to ask, so that we don't do a double work. So that's why I wanted to know if you are doing, then we will focus on.
Gayatriji, sorry for interrupting. My recommendation is, you and Anupama ji or Rajita ji are the ones who are looking at the GPT, right?
No, because she said she will be uploading and all that. So we were wondering, she is testing or uploading is what we didn't know.
No, let Ashwini ji be for testing related things.
Okay.
In terms of the actual content, if at all Madhurya ji says that they cannot do and they need our team to do it, then my recommendation is that, you, Rajita ji, and
yeah, we
Anupama
can
ji-
share the work and we can do it. Not an issue.
Let's
So we
not-
will set up a central folder, put the images. If needed conversion, we will do the conversion and all that work, because it's a lot of work.
Correct. And Ashwini ji has to approve all of that. So that way, let her retain the validation step.
Yeah. And we will not upload until we do one round, the first lesson with Madhurya ji, because we want to know exactly what is on their mind when we upload it to TeachMate.
Yeah. So in terms of content, therefore, any production content, if it has to be set up, it primarily look at whether Madhurya ji and team can do it. If they cannot for whatever reason, then let it come under you, Gayatri ji. Let Ashwini ji be only for approval, validation of the product and the content.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ashwini
uh,
ji, clear, no?
Ash-
Yeah, thank you so much.
Gayatri ji, Madhurya ji has sent a message in Google Space. Can you check?
Yeah, so she is saying we will share a Word file for now. You can upload it for the test run on Tuesday. So Tuesday, they want us to do it, I think, in their presence only. And we'll be sharing content for 4 subjects, math, science, social, and English by tomorrow morning. That's all, Vijay ji.
Super. Yeah. Okay.
Finally, 4 lessons you will, or 1 lesson you will do it in front of them, but 4 lessons you will put it right before you go there.
No, we won't do, because if she says this is not correct, then we have to do the whole thing again. I think maybe from each subject, first lesson, they will do it, and the remaining things we will do it.
One thing I would suggest is first you put it and see, because like let's say images, you should know how it is, how to put and all. So you do one, see how comfortable you are, and then the next one you can, one sample one you can do it in front of them.
And next they can do. They will decide how to put it on the thing, where to break the lesson and everything.
First one you can do and see.
Okay.
So you get comfortable with the whole process.
Yeah, you can. It will be nice if you can help
Yeah,
us.
yeah, we can. Yeah, after this meeting. we can.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. So I think
One more thing, sorry. Sorry. Dhawanji, you are saying now, right now, lessons are all that L16, let's make it L16 for the bifurcation, right? So, right now, all lessons are in L1 until L4. But according to this one, child's age and this one, the 6th standard is L9. So, and we are not able to change the L1 to L4, whatever is there. Now we are not able to change the levels, right, of each lesson which we have added for this one. So, do we retain those? Or how to go for? So basically, what I'm saying is,
1 minute. Let's verify whether Dhavalji is there. Dhavalji, are you
Huh.
there? Dhavalji?
Yes, Vijay ji.
Okay. So Ashwini ji, please repeat.
So Dhawanji, right now all the lessons what we have created for testing purposes are all in L1 to L5, up to
Yeah.
L5. So do we retain them as it is? Means like how you suggested L16. It's not possible to convert all of them to L16 because they are not editable fields anymore. So, or I don't know if Pratibha ji
No,
can
so
back
what are the lessons that we are actually creating for production? Which level is that?
that will be 9, L9.
L9. So then we don't have to worry too much about it.
Then it's fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the levels are vastly different, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just need to ensure that the logins that they get are mapped to L9.
But also one more thing is later on, the idea of the whole thing is an L9 student can also take up lessons from L4, say, or L5.
That is very future thing because that
is,
depends on OpMate and all. So I think for now we are not having got that logic to start with. But still,
Though
like
we
to
have-
be on the
though we
very
have-
safe side, that's why, like, just have
Yeah.
L1 or L16 kind of a thing.
But yeah, we have already created these lessons this way. Or
Mhm.
we can delete those and but for the newer ones which we create, maybe we can create it as L6.
Correct. Yeah, as such, I would say, I mean, if the existing lessons solve a lot of value in terms of them being real and them being like, having a lot of complicated content, then we should worry about retaining them. Otherwise, purging them is also fine.
Yeah, that is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, it's not much, so you can actually delete
Correct.
them and add them. Okay, okay.
Okay. So I think the Purna Chaitanya meeting preparation steps are also clear. Any lessons will be set up by the Gayatri Ji and team, and then Ashwini Ji, you are going to verify them. And is there anything more in terms of these two items, production setup and PC meeting? All right. So it looks like we are okay there. And if any other points come up, we can discuss. So now, I think we'll have to do a little bit of a deep dive on the backend side along with Dhavalji, and then also on whether how we should set up our what LLM should we use for Krishna and Yaksha for the initial live. So if anybody has to drop off, you are welcome to. Otherwise, I would request Karniji, Dhavalji, and Anishaji to continue minimum. The rest of you, depending upon your availability, you can continue and you can drop off. Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you, Ji. Anisha Ji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, Dhavalji.
Yes, Vijay Ji.
Let's have a quick conversation about what LLM approach we want to use for this initial go live. Then we can go into the conversation with Karniji. Okay. So now, as far as this, right now, Anisha Ji has started testing with Olama.
No, sir, Gemini.
Oh, I thought you were using the Olama initially.
No, sir. A few weeks ago, I was testing with them, but then you said switch first to Gemini, then later we can.
Oh, so currently what you're doing is all with Gemini, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Dhavalji,
Yeah.
currently, okay, that's in a way good and positive news. So she has been, what she has essentially done, Dhavalji, is, you probably would be already aware, there is a RAG approach that you can have before you send information to LLM, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, she has set up a small RAG pipeline, okay,
Yeah.
using some custom documents. So right now, today, you are having a direct integration with LLM.
Yeah.
Whereas if we work with her API, you can also filter it via some knowledge base. Do we want to experiment for the 30th go live with her RAG pipeline and then Gemini, or do you want to go live with only the Gemini direct that you have right now?
Okay, so I would say let us do both. Okay. Usually we should be able to. I mean, if it would be very good to add one item in production support, which is feature flagging. Okay. What we can do is have our existing Gemini as a fallback, and have the Anishaji's implementation as a front test. If for some reason that is not working, then we will fall back to Gemini in live.
Okay. So then what it means is you will have to
have both the code in
Anisha,
both the integration in front end.
We don't have to probably think in that direction, Dhavalji. So we can probably see Anisha ji has one API. Of course, she has multiple APIs for this pipeline to work. But the only API that you need to worry about is, there is a call to get the answer for a given question, right? let's think in terms of only Krishna to begin with.
Yeah.
So, Anisha ji, that is your last API, right? Where,
Yeah. Top K match API.
No, not Top K match. Top K match will get matches from the vector database, but there is an API to talk to the LLM and get the response of the LLM, right?
Yeah, sir. That is separate thing. Yeah. That is a UI based thing.
Huh?
Yeah, okay, sir. Continue. I'll tell you later.
That API, it takes the Top K match as a context along with the question as a context and then gets a response, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
That is also an API that is available, right?
So currently what I have is Top K match, the API, wherein I ask a query and it retrieves the chunk as well as an answer. But I have connected this Top K match even to the UI, that is Streamlit, wherein if I ask the question, it will retrieve the answers.
That's okay, Anisha ji. Let's not worry about the UI part. In terms of the API, because we'll have to connect it to the DoubleG's API UI. So in terms of the API, can you bring up your screen? That way we can discuss clearly.
Yeah, I will make it very simple. Okay, it has to be very simple, like how LLMs operate, how typical LLMs operate. I will give a prompt, and I'm expecting a response.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
You don't have to bring up your application, Anisha ji. Just show me your Swagger. Do you have
Yes,
the
sir.
updated Swagger?
Yes, sir. Let me open up that and share my screen.
Today, Dhavalji, to talk to the Gemini,
Yeah.
There's an API of Gemini that you're calling, is it?
Yes, yes.
And to that, only you're sending the context and then API key, and then it gives you a response.
Yeah, there is an API key that is used to initialize the Gemini, and then what it is only expecting is a prompt.
And you are sending the current lesson content also as part of the prompt context,
as a
right?
part of the prompt. Everything is constructed as a part of prompt.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah. So don't worry about all these other APIs, G. Just go to the API which gives you the answer.
Yeah, this one, sir.
No, this is giving you from the document, Amma. Top K matches is going to give you from the document.
Yeah.
Where is the API which talks to the LLM? There is Gemini.
Sir, I have implemented it here also, and I have implemented it in UI also. I'll just show you. Yes, sir. One second. What happened? Yes, sir. It retrieves me answers here also. But now I was showing you yesterday and UI, correct? You were speaking about that.
Okay.
Yes. I'm asking you, yesterday I was showing you and UI, are you speaking about that?
Anisha ji, we don't have to worry about the UI. I'm only worried about the API. So, which is the API which, if I give you a query, uses the documents retrieved, that is the vectors retrieved, and then uses that to build the context and submits to LLM and gives a response. Which API is doing that?
So this API itself.
Your
Top K
match.
matches. Yeah.
So the response, but this is from your vector database, no? Where is the LLM response?
Actually, yeah, it should have answered here, but I don't know why is it not answering now. It would have answered here only, sir.
Yeah, to add to Vijayji's point, Anishaji, to make you, give the full context of UI and all, UI will not have any other concern apart from the question it gives and then the answer you give back. So all the other things that you are, having here, it will not matter. That is something that the API will have to ensure that it takes care of. So whether you want to build another API for that, which takes care of all those abstractions and ensures that it directly deals with the question and answer, or you expect me to read just the answer from this one, it is up to you. I would suggest it be the first one where there is another abstraction on top of this API, which just worries about a question and answer. Weightage and all these things, it is something that you might have
all
to
these
internally.
all these are irrelevant from the front end standpoint, Dhavalji.
Exactly.
That's why I'm asking this question. So I don't think this should be exposed to the front end.
Exactly.
So apart from this, there is no other API, is it, Anishaji?
No, sir, there's no any other API for
Can I
this.
share my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This will give you full context, Anishaji. It's very simple, actually. It's not a lot of work, to be honest. It's very simple thing for you to abstract another layer on top of it. See, here what I'm saying is GenAI.models.generate content. I'm specifying a model here itself. That also is not something that you need to worry about. I will not pass a model in your case. I'm just going to give you something like contents or prompt. Okay, which is all that is coming from my side. And
the enhanced prompt, Dhavalji.
If you see, enhanced prompt has all these things like, what kind of behavior I want, what kind of question or topic is there from the student, things like that. It can also embed leveling and, current content from being shown on the screen, things like that.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So this is only what I'm going to pass. It is pure text content. And I'm expecting the LLM that you have to understand that, retrieve right things from the knowledge base, format it accordingly, and what I'm expecting all is response.text.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Dhavalji, one more question. Yeah, 1 minute, Anishaji. One question. Can you please go to the enhanced prompt, Dhavalji?
Yeah.
Okay. See, broadly, there are two approaches we can take here as far as passing the enhanced prompt. The whole idea behind the AgentMate is that, we create agents which are meant for particular purposes, right? So ideally, the enhanced prompt also should be part of the AgentMate, okay? Which means it is abstracted in the API side. So the front end only will have to just pass the query, and then it is supposed to receive the response. So that is how it can even be, right? So this entire text that you have there, enhanced prompt, up to the question from the student, right?
Yeah.
That augmentation can be on the API side, okay?
But if you want me to pass it as parameters, I can do that.
No. I'm asking for this iteration. Do you have a preference of passing it from the front end? I would prefer it to be from the back end. That way, we can simply maintain it as a configuration, and we can continue to tweak it without having to do a front end reload or a front end redeployment.
As in?
See, for example, if I want to change any prompt, right? Today, the approach that you've taken requires me to do a front end redeployment.
Modification.
And we'll have to rebuild, right? So I want to avoid that. So the entire prompt content, no? So if you can share that with Anisha ji, let me guide her in how to create that API.
Yeah. So, but the only thing is that, do you want to bind this to a student ID or you want me to supply all these information as a part of the prompt?
See, today you are not binding this to student ID. You have a generic prompt for across all the students
Correct.
today, right? So now, ideally, as we go further, we will have to start doing that. That is the whole idea of the agent mate, that it should start becoming more and more contextual to the lesson, to the student's journey. That is how
Correct.
the prompt will start becoming subtler, right? Yeah. So therefore, right now, what I want, Dhavalji, is
just the prompt.
From the front-end viewpoint, just the prompt. Correct.
Got
the
it.
question that the user has given.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah. I totally agree. That is something we can keep on optimizing at the level of agent mate.
All right. So here is what we will do then, Dhavalji.
Yeah.
Just share this prompt that you have for now.
Yeah.
Let me work with Anisha ji and then create this API.
Yeah.
Let her verify it. Then just simply give you the API.
Yeah.
And then you can very easily integrate. So
Yeah.
ideally, you don't have to worry about which model it is using, how it is affecting. All that should be abstracted away from the front end.
Yeah. Sure. And what I was saying is more like, if agent mate enabled, then call the agent mate API.
Yeah.
Otherwise, call the Gemini with enhanced prompt. So we have that feature flag going on, which allows us to do anything in production.
Yeah. So for the time being, wrap your current implementation under if not, right? The if not feature flag. If agent mate is not enabled, do whatever you're doing.
Correct.
Yeah. If agent mate is enabled, you simply have to call a API.
Correct.
What is the signature of that? I will ensure we give it back to you from Anisha ji.
Okay. Yeah, a fallback can be like based on the response from agent mate.
Fallback. Now this feature flag, do you want to maintain as a ENV parameter, or you want to? You will have to have a ENV parameter, right? Is agent mate
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That something like ENV parameter or even a live production thing where we don't have to deploy anything. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is already in GitHub Actions. So yeah, I think it's taken care of. I'll just have it as an ENV parameter.
Yeah. So as long as that ENV parameter is true, you will call agent mate. If not, you will call your own Gemini.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So just pass on that prompt context, right?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. Okay. So now, Anisha ji,
Yes, sir.
What I would like you to now focus on is a simple API which takes this question from the front, the caller, and it knows the agent ID to use. So, Dhavalji, that's another thing. We will need an agent ID to be passed as a context information when you're calling the agent mate, because the context is known by the agent ID and then the student ID.
Sorry, say that again.
So, okay, we will give you the signature, G. In that signature, you will have to pass certain context information apart from the query. So query is separate and context is separate. Context will tell the agent mate
what student it is.
What student it is, and then which lesson or what kind of a customized prompt to use. All that we will extract from the context information.
Correct.
Yeah, we will specify that. And along with it, of course, the query, whatever the query that has come.
Yeah, agreed. You can tell me what context to supply, I will supply.
Okay, all right. So Anisha ji, the question to you is, are you able to follow the conversation?
Yes, sir. Followed.
Okay, great. Then are you in a position to design a API, not implement, but simply create the Swagger and show it to me?
just it should generate just the answers with using the.
Let me repeat the question again. No implementation, just the Swagger documentation. Swagger is a design. You simply go to Swagger where you add a new API and it appears. It's a design. It is not an implementation. Are you in a position to design this interface?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just do that and show it to me before you implement.
Okay, so I should have just an API which does not have an implementation yet.
Yeah, and I want to see that in your Swagger. You showed me the Swagger, right?
Yeah.
In the Swagger, for this requirement, what is the API you're going to come up with? Just put it in the Swagger, show it to me. No need to implement. Yeah, just do the Swagger, show it to me. What is the request parameter? What is the signature of the API? What is the response you will send? And then I will ask you how this API works. Just you have to explain me how you're planning to implement that. Just the design of your API.
Okay, so currently I have the top K matches, correct? Which is having few chunks it retrieves and gives the answer, correct? So next, what are you trying to tell me that I should implement next, sir? I'm not getting a point.
When I say, we need a new API, what do you understand, Anisha ji?
There should be a new functionality of the API.
Your voice is not very clear. Can you please speak up again?
There should be a new functionality added.
But in terms of API, when I say in your current Swagger, can you bring up your current Swagger?
Yeah. Yeah, this is my current Swagger.
Okay, just collapse that top K. Yeah. How is it one API or multiple APIs?
Multiple APIs.
How many APIs are there?
So around 8.
Can you show me what are those 8?
So documents 1, chunks, vectors.
No, those are all the major resources.
Okay.
If you think in terms of API, what does API stand for, Anisha ji?
Application program interface.
Okay, how many interfaces are there in this Swagger?
Okay, there are many. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 20, about 20, sir.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
So now when I say I want a new API so that our UI can interact with the LLM through an agent context, will you enhance an existing API or will you add a new API?
Sir, we can enhance the existing API or else we can even come up with a new API.
Which API will you enhance for this purpose?
We can enhance the top K matches only, sir.
So when you enhance top K matches, the name says top K match.
Okay.
Whereas what front end is looking for is an answer from LLM. Would it be an appropriate connection?
Yes, sir. It will, as per what I have done using UI, it takes.
Forget about what you've done in the UI, Anisha ji. Keep the UI separate. I'm asking you, if somebody says, come and speak, along with speaking, if you start running, would it be appropriate is my question.
No, sir. No.
If somebody says speak, you should only speak, no?
Yeah.
So that's what the simple philosophy of API is also. They should do that thing that it says it's supposed to do. If it says top K match, it is supposed to give you top K match. If it is going to do top K match and also LLM and also something else and also something else, it is going to become a mess.
Okay.
That's the first thing that you need to learn in any API design, or for that matter, in any software design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the thing that you learned early on with the solid principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So implement a new API, design a new API. Okay. So have a signature, have a request body, have a response body. Just design that in this document, right? In this Swagger, and show me that. Yeah. First, let me review what you are thinking, how you are thinking. Then let us go for implementation.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And can I see that by today?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we are going to shift the conversation to Carnegie's topic. You are welcome to stay back and listen in. That way you can also understand. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Carnegie, shall we talk about those two topics? The authorization topic.
Yes, जी.
Yeah. And then the how do we do the lesson approval?
Yes, जी.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you please bring up and show how you are implementing the authorization today?
फर्स्ट रेस्पॉन्स से दिखाऊं एपीआई से या कोड से सर?
No, response to pata hai na. He already showed. When you call the auth, you are sending the profile and the token, right?
Yes, जी.
Huh. Have you followed any OAuth specification, Ji, in how to implement the auth?
शो करता हूँ जी.
Karni ji,
हाँ जी.
have you followed OAuth specification for how to implement the authorization?
सिर्फ टोकन जनरेट के लिए यूज कर रहा हूँ, बाकी कुछ नहीं किया सर.
नहीं. मेरा क्वेश्चन थोड़ा अलग है. मेरा क्वेश्चन है, see, how should you send the token and how should you expire it, where you should keep the token? All these are specified in the OAuth specification. So I'm
24
asking,
के
are
लिए
you following any particular convention of how you are doing the authorization? Or the mechanism of, when you call the /auth, I will send it in the body. That's what you guys decided. I'm asking that question.
24 आवर्स के लिए वैलिड रखा है सर हमने उसको, क्योंकि पहले हम लोग काम करते तो बार बार एक्सपायर हो जाता, तो सर ने इसको 24 आवर्स के लिए वैलिड रखा कि बाद में रिक्वायरमेंट जब कम या ज़्यादा होगी हम उसको चेंज कर देंगे.
So that is as far as the expiry time is concerned.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In terms of where the auth token itself should be, whether it should be in the body or in the header, when the response comes back for the /auth, why did you choose to do it in the body?
हेडर में पास कर रहे हैं सर.
So, but the response object that Dhavalji was showing, it was in the body, no?
Yes, response body में आ रहा है सर.
Huh. So my question is, those choices, how did you make is my question, Ji.
सर उस टाइम तो कुछ डिसाइड नहीं था और मेरा स्टार्टिंग था, तो जैसा मुझे सर ने गाइड किया हम लोगों ने उस बॉडी में ही पास किया कि अगर बाद में हेडर में मांगेंगे तो हेडर में दे देंगे।
Okay, all right. So we have not necessarily seen any specification. We've gone with what felt appropriate. Is that the correct understanding?
यस सर।
Okay. Dhavalji, a question for you. In your practice, generally, whenever you do a /auth call, where do you generally expect the token to be available?
Token can be token usually is not in body. That information should be always in cookies or headers.
Yeah, so even when you call a /auth endpoint, where you are passing certain credentials for authentication, that it is authenticated and the token of authentication, in your practice, generally, do you pass it in the header or you've seen it come in the body also?
Usually in cookies or headers.
See, cookies is something that the front end creates. The back end has no responsibility towards it. I'm only restricting to what should be exchanged between the front end and the back end. Whether you want to create a cookie or keep it in the local storage is a separate issue. That is your front end concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying, generally you are expecting it in the response header.
Response header.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So now, Karniji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you go to your /auth implementation?
एक मिनट सर, मैंने क्यों किया मुझे याद आ गया, मुझे इतना नॉलेज नहीं था, तो जैसा मुझे यूआई फ्लो मिला मैंने वही कर दिया सर।
But I would say don't worry about what happened, Karniji, because auth was always an afterthought. We were focused on the actual integration. So now we are actually talking about the auth for the first time. So whatever has been done was actually just to ensure we can test things out. उसमें किसी का भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, don't worry about that.
Karniji, the questions are not coming from the standpoint of to find the fault. Is to understand how and why it has been done. That's all. Please don't get concerned. मेरा questions का मतलब ये नहीं कि किसका error है, इसलिए नहीं. Just to understand how it has come up. Yeah, so that we can then take the next step.
Yeah. So Vijay, to set the context, we were really never bothered too much about the auth part, because we really wanted to focus on the first content flow. Now I think we are properly discussing the auth part.
ठीक है जी. So see, ideally for the next iteration, Karniji, we will look into auth being managed by a either IAM service by Google, or we will integrate with something called as a key clock, or there are multiple such libraries which are essentially meant for managing authorization and authentication. Okay.
Okay.
That we will examine for the next iteration. But for today, for our this iteration, can you please take me to the /auth implementation? Where do you have the /auth implementation?
Yes.
Because ideally, Karniji, how it should work is, if let's say you are a teacher, you need to be able to log into TeachMate. Also, you may have to log into StudentMate. And then, if every time you have to log in separately, that's also okay. For this iteration, it's okay. But eventually, we may want to give us some kind of a single sign-on across all our applications. So we need some kind of a centralized auth and authentication and authorization service.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it should be probably something like Google managed, like Vijay is saying, IAM or something, where we don't are even bothered about all these things. They do it for us, because this keeps on Security is something that keeps on changing every 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. We don't want to take that burden on ourselves rather than use something that is already there.
Yeah. So now in the TeachMate, now this is the auth endpoint, right, Karniji? Okay. So अपने password hash where email is equal to $1. Okay. And then password hash. So whatever the password that they have sent from the front end in line number 23, where is the, okay, where are you matching? Come down, please. Where are you verifying that it is indeed the correct password? No teacher, stored hash. Okay. Okay, so you are okay, you are doing the okay. Bcrypt.compare. Password is whatever the password they have sent. Okay. Currently in the database, Carnegie, though the column name says password hash, looks like it is not a hash, right? It is a simple plain text.
No, sir.
Huh?
No, hash password.
It is hash, is it? Because what Dhavalji was sending was unhashed information.
Yes.
Okay, so you are hashing it. Okay, good. But the front end was sending normal. Okay, go back, please, to your code. Go to that method in line number 27. Dot compare. What you are doing is 37. You're getting the password from the front end that is in the request object, and you're comparing that to password hash, right? Yeah, go into that. Karniji, can you go into that compare method?
Bcrypt का sir.
Okay, that is not something that you have written.
जी.
Okay, so then the request object that came from the front end.
सिंपल पासवर्ड आता है, उसको बाइक्रिप्ट करके हम हमारे स्टोर्ड पासवर्ड से मैच करते हैं. जब हम नया यूजर जनरेट करेंगे उसी टाइम जो पासवर्ड यूजर डालेगा उस दैट टाइम हम उसको बाइक्रिप्ट कर देंगे और डेटाबेस में स्टोर कर लेंगे. फिर जब लॉगिन यूजर करेगा जो भी पासवर्ड यूजर देगा उसको हम बाइक्रिप्ट करके हमारे स्टोर पासवर्ड से कंपेयर कर लेंगे अगर पासवर्ड सक्सेसफुल है.
Okay, that's the logic you implemented today, right?
जी.
And if the password is incorrect, then you are generating a JWT token. Okay, all right, there you are generating. And expires in 24 hours. Okay, currently it is hard coded. So what is the JWT secret in the ENV?
Sorry, ji.
In line number 51, you have a JWT secret, no?
Sorry विजय जी, मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था.
हाँ, कोई अभी सुनाई दे रहा है आपको?
हाँ जी.
हाँ, लाइन नंबर 51 में एक सीक्रेट है ना, JWT सीक्रेट.
जी.
हाँ, क्या दिखा सकते हो आप?
वो सर हमने सिंपल अभी यही रखा है, वो चेंज सीक्रेट नहीं डाला, योर सीक्रेट की डाला है. या तो
So in the ENV there is no secret, is it?
सेम यही है सर. वहाँ हम जब अपडेट करेंगे ऐसा सोच के अभी तक हमने सेम.
Okay, so it's also the same thing. Okay, all right. So it uses that. If it is not there, it uses a hard-coded your password secret. Okay, go back, please. Okay. Expiration 24 hours. Okay, this is what you're doing. Okay. Now, this header or this token after you generate, please come down, G. You're passing it in the body, right? Okay, you're also fetching subjects. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Come down, please. Teacher ID name token. Okay, all right. So, this one, Carnegie, you may want to break it. Okay, so what you may want to do is, generally, tokens, na.
जी
See now, one more thing that we need to put in place. So we may not have this as a very strong token. So you know that, right? You know, anybody can now generate this token. JWT, if anybody knows, you know, the three fields, because JWT token, there are JWT unpacking tools available. You know that, right?
जी
So if anybody looks at our token and unpacks, they will know the format in which we are creating. So anybody can create these JWT tokens. So to avoid that, we need to sign it usually.
जी
Then only it will be safer. Now to sign, we need to get a signing certificate. Okay.
जी
So now our application is not doing that.
विजय जी
Hmm.
श्रवण जी ने गूगल क्लाउड ऑथेंटिकेशन पहले इम्प्लीमेंट कर रखा था, लेकिन बाद में प्रॉब्लम्स आई तो उन्होंने सिंपल साइन इन करने के लिए हम लोगों को बोला, और वहीं से मेरी एंट्री हुई थी, तब हमने ये डिज़ाइन किया था। आज
कोई बात नहीं करनी जी।
मॉर्निंग में भी डिस्कस हुआ, तो उन्होंने बोला कि अगर आप चाहेंगे तो वो मतलब गूगल के ऊपर ऑथेंटिकेशन अप्लाई कर देंगे हम। जी
Okay, let us do one thing, Karniji. Okay, now first let us discuss about how do we implement the approve workflow. Okay, this authentication workflow, let's come back to this after we complete the approve workflow. Okay.
जी
So show me what's happening in the approve workflow.
अप्रूव में मैंने तो ज़्यादा नहीं किया, मुझे सिर्फ इतना कहा गया था, जो एपीआई मुझे मिली थी उसके हिसाब से, कि मुझे एक स्टेटस पास करना है कि अप्रूव, रिवाइज और रिजेक्ट हो, तो मुझे डेटाबेस में स्टोर करना है 234 अप्रूव की टेबल में। और
So depending upon what comes, okay.
वो पहले वही दिखाता हूँ जो आता है।
Yeah.
टीचमेट लेसन अप्रूव, कि मुझे लेसन आईडी, टीचर आईडी और एक्शन टाइप मिलेगा, इसमें रिवाइज, रिजेक्ट और अप्रूव में करके डेटाबेस में स्टोर करूंगा, फिर उसे रीड करेंगे ऑफमैट में। तो ऑफमैट का मेरे पास डेटाबेस या टेबल्स नहीं है, इसलिए मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है कि वहाँ क्या होता है, वो क्वेरी को कैसे चेंज करते हैं। तो उसी आधार पे मैं अप्रूव,
So this one, yeah, we'll go one step at a time. Don't worry. So first is, when you get an approve request, this is what you are doing, and this changes in which table? Come down, please.
टेबल, यस
वही होगा ना अपडेट कुछ ऐसे।
ये टीचमैट की
Get topic ID and current status from lesson. Okay, then come down. Okay. Get subject ID from topic. Okay. Come down. He's the approver. So you're doing some check. Select his approver from teacher assignments.
अगर वो अप्रूवर है तो ये अप्रूव कर पाएगा।
Only if they're the approver, then only you are going to call this, right?
जी
Update lessons. Okay, all right. Okay, great. So now this one may not require any change. So now let's say this has happened. Approve हो गया. Let's assume approve हो गया है. Then उसके बाद what we need is do you have the access to the opmate code? What Pratibha ji does?
सर नहीं सर, क्योंकि
Okay.
वो क्वेरीज पास करते हैं, कोड कहीं पे मुझे नहीं पता अभी डिजाइन हुआ या नहीं हुआ, तो पता नहीं सर, गिट पे है नहीं, गिट पे पुराना कोड है, वो हम काम में नहीं ले रहे।
Okay, okay. All right. So, Dhaval ji, are you back? So we'll do one thing, Karni ji. So this approve API, whatever you currently have, let Dhaval ji simply start calling that for now. Okay.
बीच में
So
बोलने के लिए सॉरी, पर अगर वो जो टेबल्स हैं, स्टूडेंट एस लोग करके एक टेबल है, वहाँ पे स्टेटस वो सभी लेसन्स के लिए, आने वाले लेसन्स के लिए एक स्टेटस कर दिया जाए, तो सभी, मेरी समझ के अनुसार किसी को कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं रहेगी। लेकिन ये सरवन सर से डिस्कस करना होगा मुझे या आपको।
नहीं, उसी के लिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ।
यहाँ से अप्रूव होके चला जाएगा, तो एस लोक नाम की एक टेबल है जो मैंने रीड नहीं की, पर हमारा एक बार पहले डिस्कशन हुआ था कि अगर हम वहाँ पे एक, जब भी कोई लेसन आता है, स्टेटस उसके लिए अप्रूव का रख देते हैं, तो वो स्टूडेंट मैट में शो हो जाएगा। जो प्रतिभा जी को करना पड़ता है वो नहीं
तो
करना।
वो क्या करेंगे कि अभी we will simply first expose this API, the approve API to Dhaval ji, so that Dhaval ji can implement it in the TeachMate. First thing. Second thing, आप प्रतिभा जी से पूछिए कि आप मैं और प्रतिभा जी कब बात कर सकते हैं. Then let us review what she is doing, and then let us decide how to implement it. Clear, ji? So if it is before 3:30, I can speak. Otherwise, I will be back after 6 o'clock, going to some clinic. So I'll be back after 6 o'clock. So from 3:30 to 6, I'm not available. Before that, if she's available, we can meet. Okay. So you can let me know.
जी.
And now what you can do is you can share the this API, the approve API request parameters and the response parameters, so that Dhaval ji can implement it in the TeachMate. So that way, UI changes are ready. We will only have to worry about the backend changes.
जी.
Okay.
जी.
Dhaval ji, are you back by any chance? Okay. So looks like Dhaval ji is still busy. So you please send that information in the group G apps team, so that Dhaval ji can implement that. And once when Pratibha ji confirms to you, we can connect again.
जी.
So that we can understand exactly what she does to approve the lesson, and rather not approve, for it to appear for the student. Then we can see where is the best place to implement that.
Okay, Vijay ji.
All right.
Can
so Anisha ji, same thing. Before 3:30, if you complete, we can review today. Otherwise, after 6 o'clock, I'm available.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anybody, any other questions? Okay.
Vijay ji, one small update, like Shravan ji said, till June 30th, neither Pratibha nor Karni ji, they'll be busy. They can't help with any deployment stuff after 30th June. And also Anisha has to be trained because Karni ji is going out of station. So he asked me to put the thing on hold.
Sure.
The mentor-made
The
deployment.
mentor-made deployment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
also
right
I
now-
asked him, he said he will give some permissions to Karniji also, but I was
yes,
not clear about that anyways.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Gayatri ji, anyway, for the next at least few days, we have to be focused on this content and testing and
Yes,
whatnot.
yes. We have to upload all
Yeah.
that content that will take a lot
Yeah.
of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's complete that. And, once when all of this is set up, and we have a production environment set up, at that time, if let's say you may become free, and around that time, even Shravanji may have the bandwidth to work with Carnegie.
Yeah, maybe if you and Shravanji, as Dhabalji suggested, if you and Shravanji come up with the design, actual design for MentorMate, then maybe it would be more helpful for us.
That we can do maybe depending upon how the situation is.
No, not now. Later. Yeah,
Next
whenever.
Saturday. Next
Yeah.
Saturday, or after that. Yeah.
Yes. Because I think we have to cross this, whatever you said, the hypercare period.
Yeah. But we don't have to wait till we cross. But definitely right now, once we set up the production environment and we're ready for 30th, then we will have the mental bandwidth and the actual bandwidth also to be able to do it.
Yes, Vijay. Okay.
All right. So then let us end. Let's say the prayer. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Thank you all. Thank you very much. So Carnegie, once when Pratibha ji confirms, please let me know. And Anisha ji, you also. And then we can connect and let's close it today. Yeah.
अनुपमा जी,
हाँ जी।
आपके लिए मैंने लिंक भेज दिया मीटिंग चैट पे, लेकिन अभी इस पे आपको बहुत काम करना होगा जी। मेंटरमेट
ये सर्विस अकाउंट, ये कौन सा लिंक है करनी जी?
प्लीज आप क्लिक कीजिए। ये भी मेरे अकाउंट से मेरे अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जीसीपी पे रन हो रहा है, पर अभी आपको इस डेटाबेस कनेक्ट करना होगा। अभी आपको यूआरएल यूआरएल चेंज करना होगा।
हाँ, मॉर्निंग श्रवण जी बोल रहे थे कि ये पहले डीबी करना है, ये कोई मैंडेटरी नहीं है। पहले कार्नी जी को मैंने परमिशंस दिया, तो पहले कार्नी जी के साथ आप काम कीजिए, बाद में प्रतिभा जी के साथ काम कर सकते हैं, ऐसे बोल रहे थे श्रवण जी।
गायत्री जी,
हाँ
आपने पहली बार बोला था इसलिए मैंने रात भर लग के आपका कर दिया, पर अभी आप थोड़ी देर पहले एक वर्ड बोल रहे थे कि वक्त टाइम कहाँ से लाएं, वही हाल मेरा हो रहा है।
हाँ, नहीं, अभी अभी
एवरीवन इज कॉलिंग मी।
नहीं,
प्रतिभा
कभी
जी,
भी
हाँ, अब आपको सिर्फ डेटाबेस अपडेट करना है, बाकी मेरा जो मेन
डेटाबेस तो पता नहीं प्रतिभा जी कब मिलेंगे। पहले श्रवण जी ने कहा अगर आप फ्री है तो हम लोग कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो बाद में भी कर सकते हैं, वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
मेरी
जब आप
तरफ से
कहेंगे करने जी।
मेरी तरफ से 80% मैंने कर दिया आपका।
हाँ,
आप मेरे को,
ओ
मैं
हमको
लिंक दूँ?
देखना था ना हमको सीखना
जी।
था ना करने जी।
We'll do one thing,
मैंने
Carnegie and Gayatri ji, we'll do one
Yeah.
thing. For the time being, let's suspend the mentor-mate discussion. Carnegie, let's focus on the go live. Gayatri ji, please focus on the setting up of the environment for the teachers.
Yes, Vijay ji. Now that he posted the link, hence this thing started. Otherwise,
Yeah. So
हाँ
Carnegie
कार्नी
ji,
जी,
come back
हमें
to this
सुबह
topic
श्रवण
later.
जी से इंस्ट्रक्शन मिला है कि आपको डिस्टर्ब ना करें।
मेरे को जब भी बीच में टाइम मिलेगा मैं आपका वो ये एक्सप्लेन भी कर
नहीं,
दूंगा
कार्नी जी, let's not create any confusion. ये जब भी टाइम मिलेगा बीच में वो सेंटेंस मत डालिए, ओके? So let's not have confusion. For the time being, mentor-mate का आप सोचिए भी मत, आप बस प्रोडक्शन पे ध्यान दीजिए।
ओके जी।
Yeah.
Okay, Vijay ji. Okay.
Yeah.
हरिओम
Thank
करनी
you.
जी।
Thank you all.
हाँ,
हरिओम
हरिओम
बोल।
जी, थैंक यू
हरिओम।
ऑल।
Hari Om. Thank you all. Hari Om.